6:02 a.m. Aurora, Colorado. Suitcase wheels hiss across the porch, and the person chosen to go to Paris isn't the one who paid. Maya Brooks kills the engine and watches her dashboard clock tick from 6:01 to 6:02. A thin film of frost clings to the windshield, breath fogs the glass. The front door opens. Elaine steps out first, rolling a navy suitcase, smiling too brightly for the hour. "You're late," her mother says, cheerfully wrong. 2 minutes, Maya answers, opening her door. The key bites into her palm as she tightens her grip. Another suitcase appears in the doorway. Not a spare. Sloane, 26. Hair blown out, sunglasses at dawn, one hip tilted like a poster. The zipper pull clicks against hard plastic as she swings the bag down the steps. Maya's smile pauses, then holds. "What's going on?" she asks, voice even. Elaine pats the air, as if smoothing a napkin that isn't wrinkled. "Sweetheart, we decided Sloane should come instead. She's been so stressed. She really needs this trip." Gary edges out behind them, avoiding Maya's eyes, carrying a garment bag like a shield. He fumbles the trunk handle and sets the bag down quickly. "I've planned this for years," Maya says. "I paid for everything." "We're grateful," Elaine replies, still sunny. "You're always working so hard. You can take another trip later. Your sister needs this right now." Sloane shifts her weight and offers a smile that lands like a sticker. "Thanks for understanding, sis." On the porch, a board creaks. Somewhere down the block, a sprinkler chatters. The morning smells like wet wood and coffee left on the warmer too long. The wind lifts a corner of her coat. A receipt flutters out, skates along the step, and snags under the mat. Gary clears his throat. "Thanks for driving us," he says, and lets the sentence die. Maya unlocks the car with a soft chirp. She lifts Elaine's suitcase in, then Gary's, then Sloane's. Each thud sounds like a closed tab in a browser window. Her fingers are steady, her jaw is still. On Crimson Heirs, moments like this get filed under family drama stories first, family revenge stories later, ordinary choices that tilt a whole life. But the narrator here doesn't say how to feel. He only notes the way Maya breathes through her nose, slow, controlled, and the way Elaine waves off protest like steam over a sink. Sloane leans toward the passenger side. "Do you think there'll be time to shop on the first day? I saw a TikTok." "We'll figure it out when we get there," Elaine says. "Won't we?" Maya glances at the clock again. 6:02 refuses to change. She opens the driver's door, slides in, buckles. The seatbelt clicks. In the rear view, Gary adjusts his strap twice, then stares at his knees. Maya's hand pauses on the start button, then presses. The engine hums. The porch empties. The trunk is closed. She checks her mirrors, checks them again, and backs into the street with a practiced, perfectly straight line. She'll keep the drive on schedule, just not the trip they think. The highway unwinds like a ribbon of slate under a pale Colorado morning. Maya keeps the wheel straight, a precise line between reflective markers, while the heater clears the last ghost of frost from the windshield. Elaine rides shotgun with the printed itinerary folded on her knees, creases worn white from weeks of planning she didn't do. "You saw that boutique in Le Marais, right?" Sloane leans forward from the back seat, phone open to a carousel of clips. "Day 1, coffee, macarons, vintage. Mom, we'll need time." "We'll make time," Elaine says, already uncapping a pen. "Tours can move. We'll figure it out when we get there." "Traffic's light," Gary says, and tightens his belt twice. Maya indexes mirrors, signals, merges, breathes. The dashboard clock holds at 6:12, then 6:13. She checks the lane once, checks again. Her hands are steady, pale across the wheel. "Also," Sloane continues, "I found a TikTok for Paris in 3 days. If we skip the museum line, we can hit Saint-Germain by sunset." Elaine circles items on the itinerary. Her daughter's handwriting, not her own. "Good thinking. We'll do that." The word "we" hangs in the car like a scented card, sweet and wrong. Maya cancels a sigh before it forms and keeps the Hyundai at exactly 5 over, left blinker ticking like a metronome. Coffee rides in a paper cup by her knee, already cooled to a film. A plane angles down toward DIA, silver under the rising sun. On the radio, an announcer reads flight delays, voice too calm. Gary lowers the volume and stares at distant trucks. On Crimson Heirs, mornings like this file under family drama stories, small choices that bruise for years. Sometimes they seed family revenge stories. The camera stays quiet, holding on hands, clocks, mirrors. Elaine flips the itinerary closed. "We'll handle check-ins," she says. "You've done enough." Maya says, She takes the next exit. Blinker clicks. A billboard promises a cheaper Mediterranean cruise. Silence settles, deliberate, slowly. The navigation app mutters an exit number, then goes quiet again. Elaine keeps the itinerary on her lap. Her thumb strokes the paper like a habit. Sloane flicks through clips, captions sprinting. Maya tastes the coffee's bitter edge and sets the cup back, lid aligned with the logo. The car moves like a promise kept, cracked underneath. Sloane taps her phone on the headrest. "Think they'll upgrade us? Mom's never been to Paris. It should be special." "Let's not push our luck," Gary says, then adjusts his belt again. The terminal loop appears, signs pointing to the airline Maya paid for. The sun catches the seams on 3 suitcases in the trunk. She brakes at the curb. Hazards on, trunk button. The lid rises. Elaine pats Maya's shoulder without looking. "Thank you, sweetheart." Sloane checks her reflection in the window and smiles. Gary steps out first, lifts his bag, nods small, looks away. Maya lifts and slides each suitcase to the sidewalk. Wheels rattle. Boarding passes print at a kiosk. Doors swish, pause, swish. She delivers them to departures. The next thing she delivers is a sequence of cancellations. She leaves them at departures and circles the terminal once. The dashboard clock steps from 6:28 to 6:29. Hazards off. Signal on. She threads the exit and aims the car back toward Aurora, heater low, radio off. Home greets her with a still kitchen, with last night's dishes paused. She sets her keys on the counter, flips her phone face down, and opens the blinds a notch. Light stripes the table. The kettle clicks to life. Steam fingers the air. Laptop, power, password. The screen blooms blue, then white. Browser, bookmark bar, a row of little airline and hotel icons that look friendlier than they are. Maya pulls the chair in until it touches her ribs, flattens the printed itinerary with one palm, and rests the other on the trackpad. Airline first. She signs in, clears a security prompt, and finds the reservation. The upgrade tile glows, a perk she paid for. She scrolls, exhales, and clicks. Manage. A modal blooms. She reads every line, keeps the return flight intact, cancels the seat upgrades. Confirm. Ding. Hotel next. 5 stars on the Seine. She follows the breadcrumb to change or cancel, studies the policy, and chooses the refund max option. A box asks for a reason. She types, change of plans, deletes the period, and clicks. Confirm. Ding. Private tours. The vendor portal is cheerful. She toggles off airport transfer, museum skip the line, cooking class. Each switch flips like a light. Baskets empty. Confirm. Ding. Ding. She opens the folder of vouchers and drags PDFs into a subfolder labeled Cancelled Paris. File names get trimmed, numbered 01 through 06. She screenshots refund summaries and drops them with receipts. In notes, she types a single line, my itinerary, my budget, my call. Then she highlights it, bolds it, and closes window. Return flight, kept, no traps. Everyone gets home, no one rides free. She lifts the kettle before it whistles and pours water over a waiting sachet. The tea darkens in slow, concentric rings. She sets the cup on a coaster, turns the handle right, then lays her credit card parallel to the cup's shadow. The phone stays face down on the counter, a rectangle of refusal. A call slides in anyway, buzzing the wood. Unknown number. She lets it buzz, stop, buzz again, and fade. The voicemail badge grows a red dot. Maya returns to the laptop and opens a spreadsheet titled Paris. Cells align like bricks. She strikes hotels, grays out tours, writes void, letters neat and centered. She saves, exports to archive. On Crimson Heirs, this is where family drama stories tip colder, not screaming, just numbers, timestamps, receipts, practical, almost spreadsheet clean family revenge stories. A customer service agent calls. The number looks local. Maya answers. Email only, please. A pause, an apology. She thanks them, hangs up, and slides the ringer to silent. She sets it face down. She signs out of each portal, clearing cookies as she goes. Browser history, tidy. Inbox, a ladder of confirmations, subject lines aligned. She reads none. The cursor hovers over the final tab. Click. She lifts the cup. Steam touches her cheekbone. The wall clock ticks twice. She lowers the laptop until it kisses the wrist rest with a soft clack and snuffs its light. On the counter, the phone lights from roaming updates, wheels down in Paris. The inbox is clean. The calls won't be. The inbox is clean. The calls aren't. The first buzz crawls across the counter like a trapped bee, then another, then a stack, layered so tight the phone seems to move by itself. Screen lights the ceiling with white pulses. Maya doesn't flip it yet. She sips tea, mouth close to the rising steam, and watches the mug leave a faint ring on the coaster. Mom. Missed call. Mom again. Then Sloan. Then an unknown number with a French country code. The badge on voicemail turns red, then redder. Email banners march in a calm, tidy column. Confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. Refund issued. Itinerary voided. The refrigerator hums a steady baritone under the buzzing chorus. She turns the phone over with 2 fingers. The wallpaper blooms. The call climbs over it. She answers. Maya, her mother says, breath already close to the mic. What did you do? Maya, what did you do? The hotel says there is no reservation. We are standing in the lobby. Breath hits the mic. A swipe of fabric. Fix this. I canceled upgrades, hotels, and tours, Maya says. The return flight stays. We're family. Elaine pulls the word longer than normal. We don't do this to each other. So act like it. Maya's thumb finds end. Buzz. 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 Sloan leaves a voicemail with clipped words. You're being impossible. Fix it. Now. An airport chime dings in the background. A rolling bag clicks over tile, steady as a metronome. Unknown number. She answers. A concierge, polite, offering to try something. Maya thanks him and asks for email only. He agrees. She hangs up and slides the ringer to silent. The switch clicks. The line under the bell turns firm. Crimson Heirs keeps a ledger of small, quiet pivots, where family drama stories cross into ledger-true family revenge stories. The narrator here records only the surfaces, the shine on the counter, the triangle of light on the floor, the rhythm of buzzes thinning as carriers time out, then surging again. Another call from Elaine. Maya takes it. I'm at the desk, her mother says, lower now. They're saying the tours are gone too. We had a cooking class. A short, empty laugh. Do you think this is funny? I think I'm done funding a trip I wasn't invited on. So you're punishing your sister. The word sister lands like a spoon on a table. You chose Sloan over me. You don't get my budget. She shifts the phone away as the volume rises, then returns it for one last sentence. Email me if you need the return confirmation. Click. Silence gathers, starch stiff. She rinses the mug, stacks a plate, wipes a crumb line into her hand and lays it in the trash. The phone ticks again. Voicemail, 3 minutes. Then another, longer. She opens none. Instead, she opens the refund folder and drags fresh PDFs into place. Names align, timestamps march in military time, afternoon slides over the floor. The blinds draw bars across the refrigerator door. A breeze lifts the corner of the printed itinerary. She sets a spoon on it to keep it still. A final call for the hour. Gary. We need to talk, he says, and pauses long enough to hear his own breath. This isn't right. Maya says nothing until the line hangs itself. She returns to the sink, runs water. The drain answers. The phone stays on silent, face down, light waking only when a foreign tower pushes an update. Her shoulders rise once, then settle. The clock walks forward. By evening, the counter is bare, the laptop asleep, the coaster dry again. On the shelf, the phone sits like a museum piece, label turned away. The badge number climbs in quiet steps. The calls ricochet now. She gives them nothing back. She lets a full day of silence do the talking. Evening lands slow now. The washer chimes. She sorts clothes by color, smooths collars, nests socks. The phone stays on the shelf, glossy and blank. A red badge number climbs behind the lock screen. She does not open it. She moves the black frame to the hall, prints one photo from last autumn, gold cottonwoods, a river stripe, and slides it in behind glass. On the second night, she powers the phone briefly, only long enough to check the time. The screen floods with alerts. Voicemail, voicemail, voicemail. A long text from Elaine, another from Sloane. She swipes none. The third evening, she turns the phone on fully. Roaming wakes, messages stack. One line sits at the bottom from a ride app. Taxi from airport arriving 4:10 p.m. The door will open, and the porch will fill with suitcases, but the words this time will be different. The taxi idles at 4:10 p.m., heat mirage over the hood, meter still ticking. Maya waits on the porch swing with a cooling cup and the phone face down beside it. Wind flips the corner of a printed itinerary. A spoon holds it still. The driver lowers 3 suitcases to the steps with blunt, wooden thuds. Elaine steps out first, bracelets chiming. She carries a fan of crumpled receipts and waves them as if moving smoke. Sloane follows, sunglasses perched through the sun, sits lower now. Gary pays, nods at the driver, and drags the last bag until the wheels chatter on the boards. Well, Elaine says, breath quick. I hope you're happy. Maya sets the cup on its coaster and looks at the stairs, not past them. About what? Our trip was a disaster. Elaine slaps the receipts against her palm. Dingy hotels, no tours, terrible food. We were told at every desk there was no reservation. Sloane tilts her phone so the screen reflects the clouds. They said your name didn't exist in the system, she adds, tapping an email. Do you know how that looks? Gary clears his throat. We managed, but... You chose Sloane, Maya says, steady as the porch rail. Carry the part you chose. Elaine exhales through her nose, hard. You set us up to fail. I stopped paying when I was crossed off, Maya says. The return stayed. The rest stopped. The driver pulls away. Gravel ticks across the curb. A neighbor's gate clicks shut down the block. Gary shifts his weight, then the suitcase. You didn't have to cancel everything. I didn't cancel the return, Maya says. I kept what kept you safe. I'm not funding a trip I'm not invited on. It's just money, Sloane says, crossing her arms, heel tapping an even beat on the step. Not yours, Maya answers, eyes on the stack of receipts. And not magic. Elaine's bracelets clink faster. We're family, she says, as if the word can balance the books. Then act like it, Maya says. Family doesn't erase someone from a plan she made and paid for. The porch holds a longer silence. A wind bell rings once. The receipts soften in Elaine's grip. An edge tears. Gary presses 2 fingers to the bridge of his nose and lets them fall. People saw us at those desks, Sloane says, voice low. It was... She doesn't finish. Her heel stops tapping. She looks away at the road. Maya rises and slides the cup aside to the exact center of the coaster. You wanted a different companion, so take the full cost of that choice, she says. That includes not asking me to clean it up. Elaine's eyes flicker, once, twice. You changed, she says. Maya lifts her bag from the side table. The strap settles across her shoulder without a sound. I stopped being a cushion, she says. That's different. On Crimson Heirs, they call this a threshold scene. where family drama stories settle accounts the way the simplest family revenge stories do, without raised voices, with totals and gates and feet that finally step. Gary glances toward the street. "You'll come by tomorrow?" he asks, the question falling flat between them. "When I choose," Maya says, "and not to audit your receipts." Elaine starts to speak, then closes her mouth. Sloane tucks hair behind one ear and sets her phone face down for once. Maya steps off the porch, bag snug at her side. The car beeps, the locks unlock, then relock as she checks herself, then commits. She opens the door. It clicks shut cleanly. The engine note steadies. Mirrors hold her face, then the street. She breathes once and pulls away at an unhurried pace. She leaves the porch behind. Up ahead, the driver's seat will double as a desk for a new life. Night settles clean and square over Aurora. Maya parks, lets the engine idle one quiet breath, then kills the lights. Upstairs, the apartment holds its line, desk cleared, chair tucked, laptop centered like a metronome waiting for a cue. She sets her bag on the hook, rinses a glass, and opens the window 2 inches so the room can trade air. She wakes the laptop. The dock blooms. A file sits on the right like a stubborn habit. Paris, XSL sex. She opens it, scrolls through columns that once glowed, hotels, tours, upgrades, and presses archive. The file slips into a colder folder. She closes the tab and leaves it closed. Search bar. Solo travel ideas, Italy. Results flood in. Rome at sunrise, Florence from the river, trains that arrive on time. She compares fares, clicks open 3 airlines, balances times and layovers against a budget she can quote from memory. The credit card waits beside the trackpad, aligned with the edge. She types the numbers without looking twice. Payment approved. Ticket issued. The confirmations arrive in a crisp ladder. She adds a small pensione near Campo dei Fiori, a bed and breakfast in Florence with a balcony barely big enough for 2 feet and a notebook. She chooses flexible rates, checks cancellation windows, files receipts into a folder named Italy Solo. In another tab, she registers for a weekend photography class, 1 checkbox for manual mode basics, 1 for sunrise shoot, weather permitting. A second tab opens for a local hiking group. She fills the form with short, honest answers. Submit. Welcome emails ping like spaced-out drops on a tin roof. She pulls the travel notebook. 3 lines go down the page. Learn 10 Italian phrases, 5 sunrise shoots, 1 long trail. She prints neat, block letters and underlines each goal once. The pen clicks shut and rests across the spine. On Crimson Heirs, this is where family drama stories change temperature, where ledgers stop tracking other people's comfort and start tracking miles, light, and time. The quiet becomes its own kind of edge. Some watchers call these turns family revenge stories, the kind that move without shouting, only with booking numbers and a name spelled correctly. She texts Grace. Plan locked. A bubble appears. Spine stays. Grace replies. She thumbs back a checkmark and sets the phone screen down. The room shifts while she works. She moves the reading chair to the window, turns it until the streetlight doesn't glare. The old hand-me-down lamp goes to the donation pile. A frame on the bookshelf gains a new photo. River water from last fall, silver as wire. She lifts her camera from its case and sets it on the shelf where she can see it from the pillow. She downloads an offline map, saves a phrase list, and writes "Buongiorno, per favore, grazie" on a sticky note for the kettle where mornings begin. Check-in opens in 24 days, a notification says. She stands, stretches the width of her reach, and looks once around the room like someone about to leave it neat for another version of herself. The archive tab stays buried. The Italy folder stays open. She closes the notebook and places the pen parallel to its edge. Next step isn't anyone else's Paris, it's her Italy. Rome receives her in soft morning light. Fiumicino's doors breathe open. Warm air smells of espresso and jet fuel. Maya follows the signs, trades a bill for coins, and says "Buongiorno" to the clerk, syllables round. Her suitcase rattles on stone toward a taxi. Driver, hotel name, address, a nod. The city slides past in blocks of honey walls and laundry lines, fountains waking in little bursts. She checks into a small pensione near Campo de Fiori, accepts a real key on a brass ring, and climbs 2 flights. The room holds a narrow balcony and a desk the size of a cutting board. She sets her notebook there and takes a picture of her shadow falling across tile. Proof of arrival. No list. No hurry, either. She walks. Cobblestones under sneakers. A barista knocks a portafilter dry. Cups clink. She turns when streets narrow, stops when a sunlit alley asks her to. At the Spanish Steps, she sits with gelato and writes. 3 lines on the page, 2 more appear. Learn a better horizon line, send a postcard from Florence. A metro ticket slips behind the band as a souvenir. Her phone buzzes across the desk. A message from Gary and Elaine. We may have handled it poorly. Can we talk when you're ready? Her thumb pauses midair. Then she types. Actions, not words. Don't remove me from plans I create or fund. I'll reply on my time. She tucks the phone away and walks again, slower, past shutters painted olive. Evening sends her north, Termini to Santa Maria Novella. The train glides. Fields trade places with stone towns. In Florence, she finds the bed and breakfast with the balcony and a view of roof lines. She sets her camera on the rail, checks the strap, and gives the Arno a short exposure as lamps wake. Messages arrive in a staggered trickle after dark. She answers some, ignores others, never rushes. Grace texts 1 word, photos, and gets a river frame in return. Spine stays, Grace replies. She reads the welcome email from the photography class. Saturday, manual mode, pre-dawn call. The hiking group posts a trail loop for the following week. She sets alarms, 2 minutes apart, then lays the phone face down. On Crimson Heirs, scenes like these mark the turn where family drama stories end their accounting and begin something quieter. Some watchers call them family revenge stories, not for sharp words, but for the way a life gets organized around one name on a ticket and a schedule nobody else edits. At dinner, she chooses for herself, bread torn open by hand, pasta that tastes of tomatoes and heat, a small glass poured by one who calls her signorina, unhurried. The bill lands clean. She pays, thanks, steps outside into a street that hums like a cat under breath. Last night comes with wind. She stands on the balcony, closes messages, and writes 1 sentence for herself across the bottom of the page. Keep the boundary when you come home. The notebook closes with a flat press of her palm. Inside, shoes a line by the bed. Outside, the river picks up 1 more line of light. She turns the latch. The balcony door clicks. Florence folds back into the glass.